If you've seen my stupid face, yes and hello, I'm Simon Miller, on What Culture before, you know I like to look on the positive side of pro wrestling, and yeah, every now and then it does deserve to have some shade thrown on it, but even still, wrestling's meant to be entertaining and therefore I like to treat it as entertainment. Even with such an attitude though, I think you can genuinely look at the year that is 2017 and say it's been an incredible year for pro wrestling and maybe, just maybe, one of the best ever. Why? Here's why. Now I realise there's a lot of ifs, buts and maybes to all of these points, but that doesn't really matter because these moments, these amazing moments that happened in the year that is 2017 still happen, and we can't just forget that. We can't just throw that by the wayside, especially when you've been sat there fantasy booking going, oh, can you imagine if this happened in the world of pro wrestling, how happy, how wonderful that would be. Well, some of them happened. Some of them really happened, and we should be happy about this. We'll start small too. Shinsuke Nakamura, the master of the East, the king of New Japan, a dude that hits harder than a freight train coming at your body. He debuted on the WWE main roster. Imagine I told you that a few years ago. Think back a few years ago, it's like 2013. Imagine we were having that conversation. I say, I guarantee you that's gonna happen. You would have been over the moon. You would have been sat on the moon just shouting down to planet Earth, I can't believe that Nakamura's coming to WWE. And straight up to, yeah, he hasn't been used in the way he should have been. He lost to Jinder Mahal for goodness sake. And that is something that we should debate. But let's not forget about the actual act in itself. Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown. Makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. As we're focusing on New Japan too, 2017 is also when we got the Okada Omega Trilogy, 3 matches that many people say are among the best ever. It doesn't even matter which one is your favourite because they got the world talking. I mean, they broke Dave Meltzer's rating system. They actually got a lot more people to go check out New Japan that had never checked out New Japan, and they kind of made Okada and Omega worldwide stars. That's just not something that happens every year. It's special. It's a moment. And in many ways, it's historical because wrestling fans are going to keep coming back to this for years to come. And even if you don't think they were among the best of all time, they're still really good wrestling matches. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that walks into a room and goes, well, I don't think they were very good. Of course they were good. Objectively, they were at least good in some sense. And just enjoy them for what they are, for goodness sake. Not everyone can go out there and make 1 hour of pro wrestling that thrilling and that fascinating. So they at least deserve some credit, so please give them some credit. Let's continue on this train as well, because the last 12 months, or at least the financial 12 months, I know that's different to normal 12 months, were the second most successful and the second most profitable in New Japan history. You know what that means? It means wrestling is popular, wrestling is booming. Everybody's loving pro wrestling. I'm not going to say wrestling's cool because apparently wrestling was only cool for like 3 years in the late 90s or whatever. And yeah, you can come at me and go, but Simon, it's all down to inflation and the rise of financial blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. This is all still true. I don't think we should just ignore it. The bottom line is if people didn't want to watch New Japan, they wouldn't be watching New Japan. And if that was happening, New Japan wouldn't be able to come out with statements like this. Instead, New Japan would be on their knees like they have been in the past. It's a return, it's a revival for the company. And again, don't just forget about that. Don't just go and moan on Squared Circle or Twitter or Facebook or anything like that. Embrace it. Ensure that it makes you proud to be a wrestling fan. And it's clear big things are happening in the wrestling world because look at the indie scene. The indie scene continues to boom, be that here in the UK, over at the US. And even Will Ospreay right now is trying to make sure that all comes across to New Zealand and Australia too. I'm so old, I remember a time when that definitely wasn't a thing. So now that it is a thing, I'm not going to sit around and get upset about stuff. I'm going to look at the wrestling world and be like, man, who knows what the potential is here? Maybe it is only going to get more popular in 2018. I mean, you can mosey down to local venues in your area whenever you want, basically, and see some phenomenal pro wrestling. You don't have to wait for WWE to come to town. And better still, because of how hot and exciting it is, you're probably seeing future WWE stars before they get to WWE. And you can go tell all your friends about that. They can be like that new band that you find that then tops the charts and you get mad at. You can be that person. And as they've come up, let's talk about WWE, because this isn't an anti-WWE rant. A lot happened in Vince McMahon Company that did get us all buzzing, and again, we shouldn't forget about it. Just look who's the WWE champion right now, or at least now as the words come out my mouth. If you watch this in 6 months, maybe he's not going to be, but right now, it's AJ flipping Styles. Not only that, It's his second reign as WWE Champion. Much like the Nakamura thing we touched on earlier, imagine turning the clock back 5 years and actually knowing that come 2017, you'd be watching AJ Styles not only in the WWE, not only as the two-time champion, but probably as the best guy in the damn company. I think we're all lucky to witness that because there was most definitely a time where it never would have happened, and now that it is happening, I'm not going to be the guy to turn my nose up at it. He also had amazing matches all year, including that one with John Cena at the Royal Rumble, and as John Cena has now entered the conversation, he's now gone part-time. And all I've heard for the last, I don't even know how long, is John Cena should go part-time. Well, your wishes come true. Big Match John has basically embraced the part-time schedule, which does of course open up new opportunities for new guys. And you can't sit behind your computer writing that over and over again on social media and then let it happen and still continue moaning again. At some point you just got to be pleased you got what you wanted. Otherwise you're just going to be sad forever. You're going to be sad forever. You're going to be known as Sad Boy Jim, as long as your name is Jim. Or maybe your name is Gail. Then you're going to be known as Sad Girl Gail. That one sounds a bit weird. And there's more evidence in that regard because Kurt Flippin' Angle came back as well. And he not only came back, but he got a Hall of Fame induction. He's now on weekly WWE TV, and all the signs point towards that he's going to have a pretty big match at WrestleMania. Are you kidding me? You would have bitten my arm off for that back in 2016. You would have literally come up to me and bitten my arm off. And I would have been like, what the hell are you doing? You've removed my limb. And then we would have had the Kurt Angle conversation, and I probably would have forgiven you. And you got the Shield coming back as well. I know that's still in its infancy, and we don't really know what WWE is going to do, but it's still cool to have them back, and it did feel like something that WWE was doing for the fans. And ultimately, it's probably going to result in a Dean Ambrose heel turn, and I've wanted that for ages. So tick another damn 2017 box. Finally, and I'm sure I'm missing loads because I'm only barely touching the surface here, but I don't want to give you too much positivity because I know sometimes people get mad about that. But look at what the Young Bucks are doing. Just look at what the Young Bucks are doing. Aside from potentially putting on a 10,000-seater show in 2018, which would be phenomenal by the way, the Young Bucks and their cohorts have the best-selling merchandise in a mainstream store. And of course I'm talking about the Bullet Club stuff and Hot Topic. I mean, that is just nuts, and it's not something that just happens, and it's further proof that WWE is no longer the sole destination. I mean, it doesn't mean that every indie talent can now go out on their own and be this successful, but the evidence, and like I say, the proof is there. If you want to do it and you can come up with something new and unique, you can do it. You just got to find that sweet spot between talent, hard work, and of course, a hell of a lot of luck. And ultimately, all of that is good for the wrestling industry because not only does competition create creativity, meaning everyone's going to work harder, it's just more fun. It's more fun for you as the wrestling fan. You don't want to watch WWE? Watch New Japan. You don't want to watch New Japan? Watch Ring of Honor. You don't want to watch Ring of Honor? Watch the Indies. You can go everywhere. It's like a giant circle. It's a circle of life. It's the Lion King. So while plenty of crap has happened too, let's not forget the good stuff and let's try and end the year with smiles on our faces. I mean, if nothing else, I think it's pretty hard to argue that right now match quality in terms of the pro wrestling industry is better than ever. You can go to any company and someone somewhere is putting on some 5-star classic. I mean, in that sense, 2017 may actually trump every other year, no matter what anybody says. I mean, some of it has been ridiculous, but think of what we've seen. Think of what we've seen. The quality has been so high, it's almost unreal. And you know what else? In a business where sometimes it is hard to break the glass ceiling and you don't get a lot of opportunities, hasn't it been lovely to see Jinder Mahal as WWE champion? And there's problems there, there's negatives, there's things we can pull apart, but that man achieved and lived his dream. And I think that's pretty darn inspirational. And it goes to show that believe in your dreams because your dreams may just come true. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about 2017's wrestling year. Like, share and subscribe. Follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE and go read yourself some articles over on WhatCulture.com. My name is Simon from What Culture and thank you for joining me once again. I'll see you soon.
Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Aren't you a star? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe below, and also there's probably more content floating up above my head, so why not check that out as well? Could be a laugh. Probably. 6 out of 10.